Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 13th of April. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Gary, the weeks just keep getting bigger and bigger and more exciting. What a marketplace we're in.
It's quite extraordinary, isn't it, Phil? Another pumping weekend of auctions, lots of bidders, lots of premium results. So people are having a ball out there. And, you know, it's interesting, one of our auctions, Philip,
Keep going, go on.
One of the auctioneers said, this is the best time to possibly buy and the best time to sell. And I thought, how can it be both? But then when you look at the cost of money, Phil, being so inexpensive as it is, it actually is a really good time to buy.
Who would have ever thought, Gary, about getting a mortgage at 1.9%?
Not
that
me.
Is just extraordinary. And you can lock in money, Gary. You can lock in a 5-year loan at under 3%.
Yep.
So
do you remember 18%?
Do
you remember 18%? I was paying 18% for my little place, my tiny little doll's house, my mother called it in Brighton, my little home.
Yes.
18%.
Overlooking Brighton Beach, just for the record.
Oh yeah, a glimpse that small. If it was a big enough boat, you could see a little bit of it. But 18%, gee whiz.
I know, how we ever survived that. The younger people today, Gary, the younger people, they don't know.
They're all spoiled, aren't they,
those
Phil?
little avocado breakfast eating.
Cool, young, hip, groovy,
They want
good-looking
everything,
people.
Gary. That's
Want it all, they want it
That's
now.
the trouble, they want everything and
It's
they want it
now
now.
generation,
You're 100%
Phil.
right.
Yeah.
Gary, 20 out of 25 auctions for the weekend. That gave us an 80% clearance against an industry average of 78%.
Let's put it up there. Smash the industry again. Wow, time to boast, isn't it, Phil? Don't we love it? Hey, I want to ask you about something. People holding poles on the side of the road.
Yeah.
The roadside people holding poles. Now, you and I grew up with people with construction. You know, we live in a progressive country. There's always works going on. What did the person holding the pole look like usually? Somebody with a big gut over here.
Big gut, a cigarette hanging out of their mouth.
There'd be somebody watching the person
I know
watching.
where you're
Do you know
going
where I'm going
this,
here?
Gary, and I hope in your horribly misogynistic, old-fashioned way, you're not about to say something that's sexist and wrong.
I am allowed to make observations. I still have that right. Okay.
What's your observation, Mr. Misogynist?
There's all attractive young women holding poles on the side of the road, and I want to know what the hell's going on.
See, Gary, that's the trouble.
Come on, I'm driving a car, mate. I can't not see it.
This is the trouble with
what's going on.
This is the trouble with your generation. You think you're enlightened, but
I'm seeking enlightenment.
That comment clearly shows how old-fashioned, how misogynist, and how ugly you are.
So why is it? Why is it that way? I'll tell you why it's that way.
Someone told me. Why would you even comment?
Because I'm driving and I see these people and I'm distracted by it, Philip. It's dangerous. It's dangerous for older people like me to see that.
To the 50% of viewers that watch this show that are female,
they would see it too.
I just want to apologise.
Nothing wrong. Why apologise? It's a fact. It's happening.
On behalf of Gary Peer and Associates,
I want to tell you
why.
That
I have to stand here and be anchored by this old-fashioned misogynist.
There's nothing misogynist and there's nothing pig about making an observation, Phil. And I found out why, because I asked somebody in Sydney and they said that all those people, those big gut smoking, unpleasant looking people necessarily that were getting abuse.
Yep.
And now people no longer abuse because people aren't as likely, the misogynistic world that we live in, where whatever it might be, or whatever it's inappropriate or not politically correct or incorrect, or hey it's Saturday or Daryl Summers or whatever it is.
You're not very woke, are you?
No, I'm not that woke, but I can't understand it. I'm just a bit like... Anyway, if anyone's got any... The word I've got is that you are less likely to be abusive to somebody who is attractive holding a pole on the side of the road. Anyway, it's just one of those things.
Let's face it, if you've been genetically blessed to be born attractive,
okay, well,
generally
good
speaking,
luck to you.
Generally
no problem
speaking,
with that, Phil.
doors open.
Doesn't apply to us.
Generally speaking,
okay.
You could hardly say either of us have been genetically blessed.
I've never been invited to hold the pole on the side of the road, have you? It's almost like a new standard now, isn't it?
I think if I was to make any observation about construction on roads, I think occupational health and safety has gone so far overboard where you've now got 12 people holding poles and one person digging a hole.
Exactly right. There's the pole holder, there's a person watching the pole holder, there's a person watching the watcher of the pole holder. There's a whole lot of people all watching that person hold.
All right, that's our rant. That's our rant.
It looks good.
And people tune in for the show because we're able to incisively put our finger on the nub of the pulse of the nation.
Don't tell me, viewers, you haven't noticed. You've noticed.
That's the genius of the show, I think. We're able to tap in to the popular zeitgeist.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
What's a Zeitgeist? Good name for a racehorse. Hey, talking about racehorses, Order of Command ran in the Group 1 TJ Smith on Saturday.
Yes, viewers, I'm going to talk about this in a very easy way to understand. Gary had a horse, Order of Command, still has a horse, Order of Command.
Great horse.
And it ran in a race in Sydney where the stakes was $2.5 million. So if he had have won that race, your Order of Command had run that race,
you would have won $1.5 million.
You would have won $1.5
I wouldn't have won it, but that was it. Less trainers' fee, less my fee, less my percentage, less everything else. I would have got about $200.
That would have propelled Gary to the big time. But in true fashion, there were 11 horses in the race. Two got scratched. That left 9. Gary's horse came in at number 9. So it effectively won at the wrong end of the race.
It did. It held up all the rest of the field. It came in last, Philip, unfortunately. It's very sad. We're going to put headlights on it next start, so if it finishes off at night, you can still see its way around. But,
one sporting organisation
it will win again. Stay with it.
One sporting organisation that didn't come last is the Mighty D's.
Yeah, wow.
The Mighty D's.
Where are you on the ladder?
I'm back. Well, we're second top on the ladder, Gary. We're 4 wins for 0 losses, which is the first time since 1994. And as one of the commentators said, one of our players was 9 days old. One was 9 days old when that last feat happened. So the D's are back. The football season is well underway.
The Blues won too.
Yeah,
don't worry about that.
2 for 2. You're 2 for 4.
Yeah, 2 for 4. Well, the last 2.
So
real estate, some stage.
Let's talk about real estate, Gary. There are some phenomenal things happening in the marketplace. We have often said, viewers, and we still say this, and we still say it's undervalued, although things are kicking on. We've always said the block of the territory between Hawthorne Road and Bamborough Road, between Glen Huntley Road and North Road, we've been saying for 20 years, buy there. We can still say that, but we had an auction in Russell Street,
we did,
Gary, a renovated timber Californian bungalow without a garage.
Yeah, very pretty home.
Very pretty, lovely house. But Russell Street, about as far south as it gets. Great location there. We love it. We've been pushing this area. Reserve was $1,850,000. 8 bidders, Gary. That's not 6, not 7, but 8 bidders took that selling price to $280,000.
Now I've got a little
That's a lot of money over reserve. That's like winning tax lotto.
It's like
keeping in mind it's tax-free, given the fact, I think it's tax-free because I think that house was that person's principal place of residence.
Hey, Phil,
PPR.
You got a bit caught with the bidding there with the 22222. I think we've got some footage here that we might show.
2222 2222.
Going back to that theme, Phil, of auctioneers and figures and numbers meaning so much, because we've got a lot of coverage in the newspaper and you on the radio, I think.
Radio, Channel 9.
Channel 9, you were there.
The news at 4 p.m, the news at 6 p.m, and on top of it, I was the lead-in promotional story to the Channel 9 6 p.m. news. Yeah, I've got to tell you, I have had many offers.
I'm glad you're still
that
here.
have come in, and I have to say,
what are you still doing here?
Well, it's a good question.
Exactly
good question. My agent has been on the phone.
Is that right?
Working the deal.
Anyway, they've got a lot of coverage for that sale at $1,299,999,999. But of course, the sale for $2,222,000. It went for more than that, but you got a bit stuck with that number because you started it looked like you were unpleasantly sort of spitting on the crowd when you went 2. It wasn't very gracious, was it? Really?
No, it wasn't. But we do have some fun at our auctions, viewers. But do not underestimate.
Life's too short, Phil. We're not here forever.
Don't underestimate our humour, thinking that we're not absolutely serious about our craft.
Yes.
Because ultimately, viewers, we've worked out a long time ago that humour, the smile, is an absolute aphrodisiac to the sale process.
Yeah, I like that, Phil. You should use that. I like that.
I just coined that then.
The aphrodisiac of sales. The secret.
No, it's the aphrodisiac to the sales process.
Couldn't that be the heading for GPTV?
Well, I got to tell you,
aphrodisiac
humour is much better than sitting in front of a crowd just stuffing oysters in your mouth and then
who does that?
Well, oysters are an aphrodisiac.
Oh, yes. No, you're not going to do that, Phil, are you? No, that's definitely not going to be healthy at all. Hey, before we go to Russell Street, we should jump.
The aphrodisiac to the sales process.
I like that. We're going to stick with that. We're going to patent that, Phil, before someone steals it and runs away.
All of our competitors who watch the show, you watch next weekend, they're going to be running around going, Mr. and Mrs. Purchaser buys aphrodisiac,
sales, They won't know how to do it, Phil. They won't put it in the right context. Hey, let's not jump to, because you moved ahead a bit.
Yeah.
Let's go back in time.
Back
like
in
a
time.
Twilight Zone moment, to the dark night of St Albans Road on Thursday night. St Albans Avenue, I should say. Good address. My sister lived there for many years, and we love St Albans Avenue, Phil. We were supposed to get the auction at maybe twilight, but it was actually at night.
Yes.
It was a dark auction. I want that midnight auction. By the way, those that are watching every week, you know I want a midnight auction. I want a vendor to say, I want that midnight auction.
So viewers,
anyway,
we love the twilight auctions.
This one was
and when
black,
this one was scheduled,
dark,
it was scheduled
night.
for 7 o'clock, and of course, Nikki, in her inimitable, wonderful, joyous fashion, said 7 o'clock. That's fantastic. Twilight. Forgot about daylight saving.
Didn't quite get that part right.
On the way there, with my lights on and pitch black, I'm thinking to myself, "Ooh, we've never done an auction in the dark before."
No.
Thankfully, the apartment is a vacant apartment, beautifully and skillfully furnished.
Please tell me the power is on. Thank you.
That
Could have been a big
So I'm
miss.
thinking to myself, well, I knew we were going to have competitive bidding. We knew we had 3, 4, maybe even 5 buyers, and they all showed up.
Yeah, 4
what we
bidders,
didn't think would happen was 50 of the neighbours also showed up.
There
The
you go.
buying public came.
Yep.
So we had this wonderful festive auction inside, and it had a really great ambiance. So more nighttime auctions, I say.
We do it at night, Phil. I think that's another potential GPTV.
Absolutely.
We do it at night. Anyway, well done. Sold for $795,000, Phil.
Yeah, new price record for the building.
Expected 6 to 660, and the reserve was right up there. So unbelievable. Phil, another pumping auction on the weekend was, and I think we talked about Russell Street selling for 2,280. Because do you start to forget things every now and then, John? Or anyway, Robert Street.
That was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, very quick. 4 bidders at Robert
Champagne
Street, sold
comedy.
in, well, the comedy festival's on. I'm going to see some comedy.
I haven't booked into anything.
Although they don't get to say much anymore, comedians, because they can't. Everything's offensive. And
what can you say now without being absolutely torn apart on Twitter?
Exactly right. Twitter or anywhere on the television now, you can't really make jokes about anything, Phil.
No.
Everything's become very
You've
serious.
got to be nice to everyone,
Exactly
and there's
right.
not a lot of humour in telling lovely, nice stories.
No, exactly. Taking the mickey. That's what, and they talked about Prince Philip as being the sort of person that would take the mickey. He'd take the, if you use an Australian term, he'd take the piss.
Well, that's a big...
And I think they talked about that he was that sort of guy that used to take the piss. And I think people loved him for that, because there's not many around. No royals do that anymore.
The question is, was he a man that took the piss?
Or was he just inappropriate?
Just a cantankerous old bastard?
Because
that's people.
That's a shocking thing to say.
The whole world
That's
generally
sacrilege.
took offence at him. So the question is, was he really taking the piss?
I don't know if the world took offence at him, but now he's passed away, people go, "Oh, he was just joking around." And it was so funny, and he was really inoffensive. And John Howard said he was able to make comment. John said he was able to make humour really at no one's expense, and no one really got offended. But it sounds like you got a different story to that, Phil.
Well, generally over his journey, everyone got offended at
Fair
some
enough.
point.
Well, they could say the same to you about you over your journey as an auctioneer. Then
point.
Again, you'd have not worth quite
And
as much.
he is Prince Philip and I'm Philip,
exactly
so there must
right.
be something in it.
Although you've both got a queen for your partner in Irene, and she's as good as any other queen in the world, as far as I'm concerned. Phil, let's move on. Robert
so
Street.
Lovely.
Yeah, well, she's
she watches
lovely.
this show too.
I know. Well, she is lovely. 652.5 Philip Robert Street. Well done to Leor. Sold that well. We're just going to zoom through here, Phil. 221 Cardigan Street. Sold for $928,000 under intense competition from 3 buyers. A couple of others didn't get a shot.
That was a good apartment. Shout out to Glenn Brick and Mark Kirkham, who handled that transaction. One thing I would say, Gary, whilst it was a good apartment, and it was one of only 2, $1 million now is starting to become,
big deal.
These apartments that have got some
special,
point of difference, POD, point of difference, pod. If it's got a pod,
and it's NBD. No big deal.
It's got a
POD,
pod,
it's NBD. That's it. We've got it sorted out. We're so hip, aren't we now? We're with the young generation. We're up there with the young ones. Phil, Olive Street. Well, that was a very interesting story. I don't mind, I think we can talk a bit personally about this, because it was owned by a retired real estate agent.
Do you know how many properties, Gary, we've sold for
we are the
real estate agents? I reckon we're the real estate agents.
We are the agent's agent, Phil. There's no question about that. And this was a director of a company called Douglas Davis, who was very successful. He was, so was the company. And there was a young fellow there by the name of Ralph Salter, who was trained and went through their commercial agent who does auctions, is on the REIV auction committee.
He's a partner at Gross
He is a partner at Gross Waddell. He's a hell of a nice guy. And anyway, he went and auctioned that property, and it was great to be. He said to me, "I want to make it a bit Gary Pearish," so he joked around a little bit. And he's actually an actor himself, by the way. He's on the stage.
Yes, true.
So you know,
Salt Pillar Theatre.
and he even tuned into your humour and gave me a hard time at the auction, but did a great job selling that property, Philip, for $2,230,000. Way beyond expectations in the high ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, well done, Raoul, and well done to the vendor, well done to the buyer. Most delightful couple coming from Mentone, Philip. Interesting to see where buyers come from, isn't it?
Fascinating.
Yeah, 55 Grosvenor Street. Well, that was a thumping auction at the end of the weekend. Philip brought down the curtain on Sunday and sold for $1,395,000.
And that was really,
Gary,
a Victorian home that I don't think had been renovated since the day it was built.
No, it happened.
And standing inside, we had quite a large crowd inside. We were all a little bit worried as to whether the house was just going to collapse in on top of us.
Well, I was worried because
it
you do some strange things in auction. And I thought at one stage you were going to say, everybody just jump on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't do that one. But anyway, it's going to be renovated and back for sale at some stage.
A couple of actors also at that, Gary. We had Leonardo DiCaprio put in a performance as a bidder. And we also had Richard Gere showed up.
Yes, we did, yeah. Well, lookalikes.
Don't know whether we've got any of that footage, but a couple of lookalikes that we did obviously draw attention to.
We did, Phil, and I don't know if they've ever been likened to those actors before, but you see things in people that others don't.
Do you know what? I've got a new thing now, Gary. I've got a new thing.
What thing is that, Phil?
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Like if I say to you, I mean, clearly you don't look like who's a good-looking actor?
Tom Cruise.
Okay, clearly you don't look like Tom Cruise.
Okay.
But imagine if I said to you, and you're standing at an auction, and I go, "Gee, you look just like Tom Cruise," even though you know you bear no resemblance. You're sort of going to puff your chest up a little bit.
So we're having chicken tonight.
Yeah.
Not interested in Tom Cruise. That's what I would say. If you
Lamb.
remember that.
Lamb
lamb tonight. Is it lamb? Okay.
But it's interesting. I used to be an auctioneer that was perhaps on the cynical side and the I won't say
weren't nasty. You weren't really nasty or mean.
I have
maybe
a
a little, maybe
sharp wit.
Yeah.
And now I'm leaning to the other side where I still have a quick wit.
Now you're syrupy.
But it's all about making people feel good.
Yeah.
So clearly those two people look nothing like Leonardo DiCaprio or Richard Gere.
Well, Richard, who is watching, he watches every week, who said looks like Richard Gere because his name is Richard also. He's not going to take kindly to that at all.
So I think we might put a quick with Richard's permission, we'll put up a photo of Richard on screen now. And of course, if you don't see Richard up on screen now, it's because we didn't get his permission. But he does look, a good friend and client of the company, does look a lot like Richard Gere.
Can we move on to our 22 auctions this weekend, Philip?
Yep.
Saturday we're over 10 suburbs.
Let's jump into
I think
it.
it's time to do some reviewing, Philip. I know how much you love to look at the brochures.
Pass me the brochures, Gary.
Review it. We're going to get you out. You've got a big Sunday, Phil. Oh, there's my pen. You've got a big Sunday.
Nothing a fit guy like me can't handle,
you've
Gary.
got a light Saturday, but a big Sunday. Let's start off on Saturday, though. At 10:30, there's only the one auction. Leo Samuel's doing it in Chomley Street, Perandi. We love it there.
An incredible address, connects Dandenong Road through to High Street, full of $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, even $4 million houses. Great location.
We have triple auction action at 11:30, Phil. We're going to start off at Kooyong Road 13 at 9 Kooyong Road. Jeremy Rosen's auctions in this building.
It's on the Kooyong Road Hill, walking distance to the tram and Dandenong Road and the Armadale train station. So great location, great apartment.
I'm off to Mortimer Street, Phil. I'm starting there at 11:30 and I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably find a farmer's market on the way.
3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking and lots of land, Gary. And yes, you do love a farmer's market.
I sure
What's
do.
your favourite farmer's market? And we'll put it up on screen.
I think the favourite one would have to be either the Abbotsford Convent on the 4th Saturday.
Wow.
That's a long way. Don't get there very often.
Is that a big farmer's market?
Oh, it's a good one, Phil. Yeah, it's a good one there. And Gasworks, that's on the 3rd Saturday. So we've got Gasworks on the 3rd Saturday. We've got the Abbotsford Convent on the 4th, also the Bentley one. And on the 1st Saturday, you've got the one behind Luna Park there, the Veg Out.
Speaking of the Abbotsford Convent,
Out,
my wife just went to see an exhibition, went with her niece, the lovely Ari. Ari, bit of a shout out there. Apparently there is an exhibition on at the Abbotsford Convent of women as they age.
Yeah, I went to that.
And it's, you did not.
Okay.
It's quite confronting, but we're going to put that up on screen now. I suggest if you're interested in art, and confronting art. That's apparently quite.
You could follow one of those people, those roadside workers, over the years, Phil. Maybe one of those roadside workers, and see how they age gracefully out in the beautiful elements, Philip. We could talk a bit about that later. 17 Terrigal Avenue, Oakley South. That's your first start. We're going to be over that side of town.
To this. Yeah. That's a really good property on land, a beautiful, beautiful house. I think that's going to go well. In fact, I think it's going to go even better than we think it's going to go.
How could it go better than we think it's going to go? We really think it's going to go well.
Well, I'm hoping Darren Krongold is watching this and his mother-in-law is watching this.
Okay. Oh, good. Yes, of course. Indeed. Well, good luck to the vendors of that home. Indeed. Phil, we've got 5 auctions on 12:30. We're going to be in Mullane Street, Bentley East. Leo Samuel auctions this one.
Mullane Street, what a great address and what a beautiful, beautiful home. Have a look at that. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. This is just everything you ever wanted in a home.
We're going to Adelaide, Philip. Adelaide Street in McKinnon. Simon Rodolnik auctions
what
for
an
Yandos.
Incredible development. This is 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, and car parking for 2 cars. That is stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Sycamore Street, Phil. Glenn Bricker brings that to the market. You're auctioning that one in Caulfield South.
I love, again, viewers, that's the pocket that we started talking about at the start of the show. Sycamore Street, you can't go wrong there. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, gorgeous deck, polished timber floorboards, lots to love.
Nothing like an apartment with a courtyard, Phil. We've got a beauty in Glen Huntley Road. In Elstwick, Jeremy Rosen's auctions.
Yes, Gary, courtyard gardens are absolutely everything and does add value. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, and all of the shops and public transport. And the incredible Glen Huntley Road, Elstonwick community is on your doorstep.
Indeed it is, Phil, and just up the road in Clarence Street, Caulfield South, there's a wonderful property going up at 12:30 with me doing the auction.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. You'll have fun there. Beautiful renovated kitchen. Pretty schmick property, that one.
We're done at 12:30, Phil. The auctions are going to the other young ones, Phil. We like to see the young ones working hard. Those young bucks. 2 at 2 Carnarvon Road, Caulfield North is a great address.
1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. You've got to love that location. Caulfield Park on your doorstep at one end and Glenferrie Road at the other. Doesn't get much better location than that.
Part of double auction action at 1:30, Philip, is Elliott Avenue, Carnegie, Leo Samuel in his heartland.
Gary, what a brilliant development that is, and all part of the Carnegie vibe and groove. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, gorgeous terrace balcony, lots to love there.
Leo's 4th auction, Philip, is going to be in Glen Huntley Road in Caulfield. That wraps up Saturday at 2:30 p.m.
And what a stunner it is, Gary. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 car space, and a great timber-lined deck. Love that property.
We are moving into St Kilda Reese, Philip, on Sunday, and we're not moving out of that suburb hardly at all. We're just about all of our auctions are going to be there, but we're going to start off in Dalgety Street. That's a great spot
that's
at 10:30.
Not St Kilda East, Gary. That is St Kilda, proper, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. That's the sort of real estate that should be in everybody's rental portfolio, but a great home to live in as well.
Indeed, part of the double auction at 10:30, Philip, is in Hotham Street. I'm going to be auctioning this terrific apartment.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, big entertaining area. That's a gorgeous apartment.
After your little sleep in, Phil, you're going to be doing auctions on the hour, every hour from 11:30. You'll be starting off in Nightingale Street.
3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms and a car space. That is absolutely fantastic. In fact, it's a carport. And keep in mind, when you buy that two-storey townhouse, it's walking distance to, of course, Carlisle Street, but you can also walk to the Elwood Village in Brighton Road, and you can walk to Ripponlea, Glen Ira Village.
Groove,
it's fabulous. I love that.
Part of the groove, as is Albion Street, just around the corner. Leo Samuel auctions at 11:30.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, a nice kind of 1950s building. Love that. They're bigger than most.
My second auction's in Kooyong Road, Phil, on the Kooyong Road Hill. We're back up there, and
yes,
I love
Gary,
this building.
And it's still walking distance to the tram and Dandenong Road and the Armidale train station. Nothing moved since we talked about it a few moments ago.
Thankfully.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space.
Only 1 auction at 12:30, Philip. You're going to be doing it. It's in Balaclava Road, Caulfield North.
Gary, this is in the building that is known as Linden, the most magnificent development. And that is, of course, 2 bedrooms and a magnificent study. The joy of this property, Gary, is it's not only has it got 2 bedrooms and a study, but it has 2 living areas, kitchen, meals, family room, and a more formal area, which is kind of informal, which means you use it all of the time, and 2 courtyards and 2 car spaces. That's luxury as much as you'd ever want.
You've got it all there, haven't you, Phil? You are a man of steel, Phil. That's what you are.
I am.
A man of Steel Street. The auctioneer at Steel Street at 1:30 p.m.
One day I might let you run your hands over my washboard abs, and you'll really know how I'm made of steel.
Oh, God,
one day, or maybe not.
I haven't eaten lunch yet. I think not's better. Yeah.
4 or 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, Gary, plenty of off-street car parking. Steel Street, what a great location. It's on the north side of the street. So a well sought after property.
How popular is Alexander Street? It is
very
such
popular,
a hot
Gary.
spot in Eastern Kilda.
It's flying.
We're going to be there at 2:30. Phil, you're auctioning for Joel Sir, this terrific, beautiful looking semi. I know this property. We've been there before. It used to be owned by a well-known photographer. It's a great place.
And what a stunning back room it's got, Gary. Incredible, with the high-pitched ceiling opening to a really almost an amphitheatre style back garden. It's stunning. And of course, you've got the best of St Kilda East amenities on your doorstep.
So that is a big wrap for our weekend of auctions, Phil. A busy weekend. I think there's 20 actually. I think I might have miscalculated. 20 auctions I think we've got on. No, that's just on Saturday. Sorry, I'm all over the place. 22 auctions Saturday. We've got a heap on Sunday. It's must be 30 something auctions. A big weekend. Lots happening. Hey, we've got a property I think to talk about as well that is going to auction next Wednesday, Phil. An extraordinary property here in Cockerib Road. Good looking place. 6 o'clock. We love those 6 o'clock auctions.
Gary, we just love them.
2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 parking space, Phil, in Cockerib Road. In Carnegie, Leo Samuels auctions. Midweek. We love our midweek auctions. We love our 6 o'clock auctions.
I want our midweek auctions, Gary, to become a feature of the permanent calendar, real estate calendar. And there's no reason that we shouldn't continue, because they're all selling, they're all successful. And if you think about it, the day and time's got nothing to do with whether a buyer will come. As you keep saying,
I want that midnight auction.
Midnight auction, let's put it to the test.
Even if I have to auction something I own myself, I want a midnight auction.
And it'll be come in your pajamas. We'll make a bit of a thing of it, Gary.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know whether that sounds appropriate, Phil, but we could certainly have the dressing gown, the pajamas. We could serve some port there, perhaps, Philip.
Hot chocolates and marshmallows.
Marshmallows. I think we should be starting to do the whole evening auction thing. And for night owls like me, Phil, there's nothing greater than having some night auction action. And Phil, that's a big wrap on GPTV. We've gone on and on and on about all sorts of things, about street signs and about night auctions and about the market, which is pumping.
And as we're almost halfway through April, viewers, if you are thinking of selling, and who wouldn't want to take advantage of such a strong market, if you are thinking of selling though, you're now looking at late May and into June, July. And June, July, August, which is traditionally the winter months, are some of the strongest real estate sales. So counterintuitive, perhaps we'll explain that at another time. But a lot happening, Gary. A lot happening right across Melbourne, right across Australia.
Someone asked me about prices. Do they hold on? Do they crash? Or do they go up?
Okay, so my prediction. Do you want my prediction? I think you're going to see increasing prices for at least the next 6 months before they plateau, level out, and stay pretty steady before it takes another move upwards.
Well, you can bottle that thought and we can review it back.
And of course, that's an opinion. It's not a warranty. It's not a guarantee.
We're not financial advisors. We're just salespeople. I keep saying we just sell.
Just ebullient salespeople who are just doing their best in a cold, cruel, dark world
to shelter people.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fantastic week.
I'm Gary Peer. See you next week.